See, last or early this week,
Okay.
I was on one of the major platforms in this country.
Okay. The media platform.
One of the media platforms. And it was evidently clear that the media house had no interest discussing the Obuasi issue. In fact, that media house led the onslaught when it had to do with Galamsey issues and illegal mining. In fact, that media house had journalists who mounted platforms and called for such illegalities to occur. Now, interestingly, they took absolutely no interest in discussing the matter. So, and I remember when the incident happened, we saw some media houses whitewashing the issue and not stating the issues as factually as they should. They were whitewashing the issue. For us, we have seen the silence of several civil society organizations and other international organizations who in the past would have taken Akufo-Addo on so well. They would have literally called him names and said things to say or to suggest the Akufo-Addo's government is a tyranny and blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, Christian groups, organizations, everybody, those who marched, the young people who said that we should fix the country, the young people who mounted platforms and went on the streets and said that we should stop illegal mining, they have all gone quiet. But it begs the question, really, are we interested in solving the problem? Or were we interested in pushing out a particular government?
Both.
Look.
Both.
How is it both?
You were interested in pushing a certain government out and also in fixing the problem.
Yeah, that's why you were behind them.
So I'm telling you.
That's why your party was behind them.
Our party was also
okay, sure.
on the same trajectory.
Good, you have endorsed it.
But we are Ghanaians and we also...
Kofi is unbelievable. We say he has endorsed it.
I'm happy him know that we were also opposed.
Moro, you see,
Kofi,
here is the thing.
Right.
So when I raised the issue,
okay,
it became topical. The video went viral. People started discussing, look, what's happening? This is on the back of other atrocities and hooliganism that have engulfed this country to the silence of relevant agencies. Do you know just 2 days ago, Omare Wade, our third vice chairman, national vice chairman, NDC boys took his car from a mechanic shop, a Lexus. That's a government vehicle. Till now, he's struggling to get his car. So why wouldn't we do this press conference? We need to remind the nation, and in particular, John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, that he was given a mandate to fix our problems, not to create more. Look, the Obuasi incident. There was a very careful attempt to whitewash it. The first media stories that came said that small and illegal miners have invaded AngloGold. But that's not what happened. Those who invaded AngloGold were NDC thugs.
But if you watch the sorry for rudely interrupting. When you read the statements that have been issued by both the Ghana Armed Forces, AngloGold Ashanti, none of them mentioned NDC tax. All of them were talking about miners, in some cases illegal miners. So
I actually applaud Ghana Armed Forces for not mentioning
that were NDC.
NDC because they are a state institution that must present itself so.
And then AngloGold Ashanti?
AngloGold Ashanti must equally do that. Okay. But the media houses, you see, when it comes to these things, you have to look at sentiments. If Ghana Armed Forces go to say NDC, they will be put in a political class.
They'll be pigeonholed.
Exactly. It's not the smartest thing to do. But a media house has an obligation to go there and report and not necessarily massage anything. But Ghana Armed Forces have an obligation to massage for the state cohesion, for national cohesion. Because as a state institution, they cannot be seen to be biased, even if they are stating the truth. And that's why they have to avoid it.
So where did you get your evidence?
I'll give you. I have my evidence because initially, that was the impression created. Until Joseph Yamin went to Obuasi and met with the young people and said, please, calm down. And I applaud Joseph Yamin for that. He said, please, calm down. Don't retaliate. We will seek justice for our boys. The NDC chairman in the constituency, equally in the video, said, please, don't retaliate. We'll seek justice for our boys. The NDC vice chairman in the constituency was standing next to a police officer and said, you know what, this was not right. We are not happy. We'll talk to the other young people not to engage in such behavior anymore. The NDC Obuasi West PC was also there. So all of them corroborated the fact that those who have been killed were their boys. So it is not in question anymore. The issue of who they are or who they were because they are deceased, it's no longer in question.
But this is where I have a difficulty, and help me.
Please help
me deal with this difficulty. The guys who invaded the Obuasi place were more than 60.
Okay.
At least per what our reporters on the ground are telling us. In fact, when you even read the Obuasi, the Ashanti, the AngloGold Ashanti report, about more than 60 of them. The guys who have been killed, confirmed, 6.
No, right now I'm hearing 11.
11, okay.
Even a report from your own media house.
11, good. But, and then the guys who Joseph Yamin and the Obuasi West PC and so on were interacting with were not even more than 20. So question is that, are we saying that all the 60, even if we're to proceed with the assumption that all the 11 who were killed, no, in fact, yes, it's 11 because 6 were killed instantly, and then I think about 4 or 5 or so were in critical conditions. So I want to believe that the 5 who were in critical conditions passed on, and so that makes it 11. But I'm saying that, are we saying that because the 6 who have died, whom the NDC in Ashanti region have actually accepted and have confirmed that these are their people, does that by extension mean that all the 60 who were there, because some of them fled, you remember, they ran away. Does that mean that all the 60 are all NDC people?
First of all,
do you get a point? Do you get my question?
First of all, what business does an MPP person have to go with an NDC person into somebody's property illegally?
No, you're not getting my question.
Okay.
The question I have, you see, the over 60 people who went there were not led by maybe Asidun Kitia or say Pablo.
But let's do random.
Even the regional executives.
Isimoro, let's do random sampling.
Yes, okay.
60 people go somewhere.
Yes.
And out of the 60, 6 die instantly.
4 or 5 in
5 die later.
Yes.
11.
Yes.
And all of them are NDC.
If the guys who died.
Yes. All of them are NDC.
Yes.
Even if you do random sampling, if there were other non-NDC people, there was a likelihood that some of them wouldn't have been NDC. If you get my point.
Exactly.
So, no, I'm saying that.
Yes.
11 people have died.
Yes.
The 11 people who have died, we have indeed confirmed that they were NDC young people.
Yes.
And there were a total of 60. So if there were a total of 60, then the 11 people who have died couldn't all have been NDC. There could have been any other person involved. Why were all the 11 NDC people?
Yeah, but I get it. But I'm saying that the fact that all the 11 were NDC does not mean that by extension, all the 60 are NDC people.
That's but the probability that they were. Yes,
but that's a different argument.
No, my point
is... There's a difference between possibility, probability, and certainty. If you see, initially your argument was that all the 60 were NDC. And I'm saying, and I asked you why. You said because the people who died are NDC.
Yeah.
So for you, because the six who died are NDC, by extension, almost all the guys who went there were NDC.
Yeah,
and you buttressed. Sorry.
Yeah.
You buttressed your point with the interaction that Joseph Yamin, the Obuasi West MP, the vice chair had with the guys who were there. You know, so for you, that was a testimony of the fact that all 60 were NDC people. And I'm saying that kind of argument is a bit problematic.
No, but it's not problematic
because the fact that there's an interaction with NDC leadership there with some of the guys, and also the fact that the guys who died are NDC people, does not necessarily mean that all the 60 who went there are all NDC.
Okay.
And that there's a possibility to say there were other guys who were non-partisan.
Okay, so my point is...
That's the point I'm making.
No, my point is that 60 people went to a location.
Yes, 11 died.
11 of them have died.
Yes.
Those 11 people belong to one group.
Yes.
You are saying that the remaining 49
Yes.
could be any other person,
That's the
and
point.
not necessarily NDC.
That's the point
I
I'm
get your
making.
point. And I'm saying that, could they be MPP?
They could have been PNC. They could have been non-partisan.
But you see,
That's the point I'm making.
You see, the point I'm also making to you is that who led the onslaught? Let's even take your argument without admitting.
Okay.
Who led the onslaught? Who emboldened them? What was the basis for doing that? Why would a young man in Obuasi, who for all these years has never engaged in such an activity, all of a sudden engage in that activity post-elections?
But you see, Kofi, there's a difference between this may have been instigated by some NDC leaders. There's a difference between making the argument that the incident was instigated by some NDC guys who live in Obuasi. There's a difference between that and all the guys who went there are NDC. You see, that's the challenge that I have.
My brother.
If you say it was instigated by the NDC guys, I can grant you that.
My brother, if the debate is about who went there and their party, etc.
Yeah.
The argument we are making here is about a decision of a political party to engage in acts of thuggery, which has led to the death of many. The issue of who is what, for me, is a non-starter. The point of the matter here is that these people were led on by a political party, and that has been confirmed. So I don't get the point of who the other people were. All the remaining 49 could have been NDC. The remaining 49 could have been a mixture of NDC and other young people. Yeah. But the bottom line is that they were NDC people. Now let me finish my point.
Okay.
If in this country today, as an MPP person, I incite young people in this country. I'm saying this just for hypothetical purposes. And young people march on the streets, followed by my NPP young people, and we engage in an onslaught, and there are atrocities. Who would you blame for such atrocity? Will it matter whether the remaining people were MPP? The bottom line is that there was somebody who is an MPP person with MPP group who engaged in an illegality that caused the onslaught. Wars are not created necessarily by the citizens. Wars are sometimes engineered by individuals.
Okay.